If you've been a subscriber of this channel since the beginning, you'll know that I used to do a lot more DJ product reviews, lighting, gear, speakers, DJ booths, all of that was kind of the core content of this channel. And as time has gone on, I've included more consumer products, earbuds, USB microphones, projectors, but you know, at the heart of it, I really love the DJ tech, and I'd like to think I have the experience to talk about it. I was a full-time DJ for 5 years. I owned my own DJ company for 10 years. I've written 2 books on lighting for DJs, and I've even spoken at a few industry meetings. And so when these came across my desk, when I had the opportunity to do an unboxing and review of these, I said absolutely yes. These lights are from Eliminator. It's the Frost FX Bar RGBW and the Frost FX Bar W. These are 2 LED bar lights that serve as washes, as pixel mapping effects, as eye candy, as beam effects. They have a lot of flexibility and I'm super excited about them. And in this video today, I'm gonna unbox it, show you what comes inside the packaging, tell you about my experience testing these, what applications I think they're best for, and then let you know whether or not I think they're worth picking up for you and your company. Now, if you're not already, I would love to have you become a subscriber. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, so you don't miss any new videos. Leave a comment if you're interested in these, or if you think there's another light that you like even more, and maybe we can get it for review on the channel. But enough of that, let's take a look at these Eliminator Frost FX bars. So right now, one of the biggest lighting effects for mobile DJs, in my opinion, is the glow tube slash bar. You know, people are using those extremely expensive Astera tubes. People are using like the Ape Sticks bars. There's a lot of options out there, and they are all universally pretty dang expensive. But clients are loving this. Even wedding clients, couples, they like the effect of a bar light as opposed to the cheesy moonflowers and lasers that DJs have been using for forever. Things are kind of moving to a more refined space, and those effects are cool, but they're very, very costly. Now, lights like this, bar lights, have been around forever as wash lights or as effects, but over the years they've gotten more and more sophisticated. In the past, they used to use those RGB, the small RGB diodes that were like in dedicated sections. You could only have one color in one area of the bar at once, and they just had very limited flexibility. These, on the other hand, combine a few different effects types into one light, and I think they offer the ability for DJs to use them in different scenarios and in a wide variety of applications. So let's start unboxing, and I'll kind of talk about some of the specs and the features of the light. I'm going to put the W version down for now and just look at the RGBW version. They are the same as far as the physical product. The only thing that changes is the diodes and a little bit of the programming. So we'll talk about that in a moment, but let's take a look. This is the Frost FX Bar RGBW. It is a 1 meter or around 3 feet long bar, which is pretty standard for lights of this type. And what makes these unique as opposed to any other bar light is the fact that the casing on them is translucent. Okay, so the case is not just plain metal, it actually glows. And instead of just having LED beam lights that shoot out, you also have lights underneath the casing that cause the casing to change colors, do chases, do effects. So in essence, you have 2 lights in one. You have this colored beam effect, as well as a colored pixel mapping eye candy type effect, okay? Now, this is big for a few reasons. I am a big advocate for buying lights that can work in as many scenarios as possible, so you have maximum flexibility with minimal footprint. It also means you can buy more lights for the same price and you know, make your dollar stretch a little bit farther. So unboxing this light, this is what it looks like out of the box. The only other thing in here is going to be your power cord and your manual, okay? It's got a good manual, pretty standard across the board if you've ever bought another DJ light. Nothing to write home about here, but it covers all the features, functions, DMX channels of the light. The power cord, one of the first things you're going to notice when you pull this out is it has PowerCon connection, which is huge. I've never seen PowerCon in a budget light at this price point. Eliminator is the Elation 80J kind of lowest tier brand, their most affordable option, and to have PowerCon even in a light at this price point is awesome. If you don't know, this is a locking power cable, so it cannot be pulled out during your event very easily. It's going to keep your light on even if something happens where someone pulls a cable, what have you. That shouldn't happen. But power locking cables, this is a professional feature. I like to see it. I'm going to set that off to the side. I'm going to take this out of the plastic here. And you're gonna see this is a huge light, okay? 3 feet long, okay? It has a very slim profile on the end, okay, kind of like a flat screen TV, and then you've got this section in the middle where all your connections and the brains of the light are. It also has a really long mounting bracket, and that mounting bracket has holes on the ends if you're going to mount it horizontal or vertical, and it also has one in the middle. So you can kind of mount this in whatever way you want. The bracket is wide enough that you could set it, you know, on a stage or something and rotate the angle how you please, okay? So construction wise, all metal design except for the plastic, the translucent cover up here, the casing, the back of the light, the bracket, all metal. Quality I expect from the ADJ group of companies, so nothing surprising there. The bracket is pretty bulky. It sticks out quite a ways. These are definitely gonna take up space in your transport vehicle, but this is kind of par for the course with a light this big. So let me pull this down and show you the back of the light, okay? This is also pretty standard. You've got your 4-button menu with your LCD display right there, and then you've got labels for the different ins and outs. Now, it is laid out very nicely. On this side, you have DMX and PowerCon in, okay? This is the 3-pin DMX, yep, 3-pin DMX, PowerCon in, and then power linking, you have PowerCon out, as well as DMX output. So if you're stringing these in a row, you can easily just jump from one light to the next, okay? And just link them all together and not have to run multiple extension cords. Now, while we're talking about linking these together, one of the really cool design aspects of this light is something called pixel distance or pitch, I think, or something like that. They've set these up so that this last light in the fixture is a perfect distance for when you pair another light, it will be exactly one space away. It won't look like these are two separate lights. There won't be like a different gap. The distance between these two is the same as the distance between the next fixture and the chain. So if you have a 10-foot truss, you can put 3 of these in a row and they will all be one seamless light bar across the front, which is really cool. Now, the last thing construction-wise I want to talk about on this is the casing. This is that translucent casing, and in the past, ADJ or Eliminator has used this kind of white frosty effect, and honestly, those fixtures look a little bit cheesy to me. They scream like kind of bowling alley. This is kind of a gray translucent, and you know, from a distance, you can't really even tell that it's plastic translucent. It just looks like a normal black light. You know, maybe it's a little bit lighter, but this could be used in a wedding setting, a corporate setting, and it wouldn't give the appearance of kind of budget lights. To me, this is professional looking, and if you have to do a translucent case, if that's the point of the light, this is a good way to do it. Now, let's talk a few specs here. There's 14 3-watt RGBW diodes, okay? They're extremely bright. You'll be seeing footage throughout this video. They project a long distance and they have a very narrow beam angle. So this is not spreading out a ton. This is shooting pretty much straight forward. So this, the light that projects out of these 14 diodes pretty much goes in a block straight out, okay? Now behind these, behind each of these pixels, there are 4 smaller RGB diodes hidden under the translucent case, which will give it the glow effect. Those pixels are RGBW, those pixels are RGB, so you don't have like different sections, red, blue, green, red, blue, green, red, blue, green. Each section can do any of thousands of colors. They can color mix, and the colors are very vivid and bright. Now, they're not as vivid as the lenses because they're hidden behind a gray plastic backing there, but they look good, okay? So that's really the construction and some of the specs of the light. 3-watt diodes in the front, narrow beam angles, and then you've got RGB diodes behind the case, 4 per section. Now, with all of those diodes, each of those can be individually controlled. If you put this in the highest DMX channel mode, you're gonna get over 100 DMX channels per light fixture. So if you are a big company and you're doing 5 or 6 or 10 of these bars, you could easily eat up a few universes just programming these. Now, there are smaller DMX modes, you know, 60 and 80 channel and whatever. There's even like a 7-channel mode if you just want to control the internal programs and the brightness. But just be aware, they're going to eat up a ton of channels if you want to go the DMX route. Now, this is the RGBW version. The RGB, or just the plain W version, excuse me, is the exact same light, but these beam diodes are only white. It is a very stark, bright, 3-watt, cool white diode. It's beautiful, okay? If you're a sucker like me for the white effects, it looks awesome. And it comes in at a cheaper price point than the RGBW version. Now, Let's talk about use and experience with these. I'm gonna start overlaying clips. We'll talk about the RGBW version first. This light, I think in my mind, is perfect for the average mobile DJ, especially if you're someone that wants to use these standalone without any DMX control. The built-in programs are awesome. It has some really neat chases where the lights go from one end to the other with the beams, and then the frost filter goes the other direction. There's some in to out chases, there's some left to right chases, there's some really cool rainbow fades. And like I said, the color is really bright and really vivid. When I saw these announced, I didn't expect them to really serve as wash lighting. I fully expected to get these and as a review say, use these as effects, as supplements to a main wash light. But in all reality, they are pretty bright. You could easily do a small dance floor with one of these and a medium dance floor with a pair of these serving as your main wash effects. Now, granted, you'll probably want almost all of the diodes on for that, so you'll want to use programs that make use of all the diodes. If you're just using like single chase effects back and forth, it's not going to be as bright. And if you're doing really, really large school dances or corporate events, you can supplement these with your wash light of choice and mostly use these for eye candy. But in a pinch, can serve as your wash light. Again, adding to the flexibility of the light. Now, the beams look fantastic with and without fog. With fog, you get really cool kind of fans of beams. And then the Frost FX lighting behind the bar, the RGB section, looks good. And I was worried that the beams would kind of drown out the Frost FX section and you wouldn't really see it, but you can definitely see when those are going in opposite directions or doing separate patterns, you can distinctly make out the two different sections. Now, the inbuilt auto programs on this RGBW version are great. There's a good variety of them. You can also use it just for kind of room lighting with 64 built-in color macros. And, you know, as a combo fixture, effect, frost filter, wash lighting, all of that, you're really kind of getting a huge bang for your buck with that. Now, let's talk about the plain W version. Now, this one I think is going to be better for large production companies or DJs who love DMX. And that's because the inbuilt auto programs are not as flashy and varied as the RGBW version. The white version just has kind of some basic chases back and forth. It doesn't really utilize the full color gamut in my opinion. But if you can DMX them, you have the ability to create all the same cool pixel mapping effects that you do with the color version. The white version would make an excellent, amazing strobe light. You can buy standalone strobes for the cost of this fixture, but this fixture is going to offer you the ability to do chases and fades and strobe and color eye candy effects. So to me, it's a no-brainer. I would get one of these and just use it as a strobe / effect light. Like I said, the white diode is a cool white. It's very strong, very intense, blindingly bright if you look directly at it. So you probably want to use DMX to dim it if you're doing a smaller dance floor. Now, again, the auto program's not as strong as the color version. So if you're someone that's just hoping to hook these up and let them run by themselves, I would go for the RGBW over the plain white version. So that is the Frost FX Bar, RGBW, and W from Eliminator Lighting. I think they're phenomenal lights. They offer a crazy good value for the money. You're gonna get a lot of effects in one that if you bought separately would cost way more. It's built well, it looks good doing it, and it really will add a new element to your mobile DJ light show. So head on over to Eliminator's website. If you want to pick some of these up, they've got their dealers listed there. It gets a 2 thumbs up for me. I'm keeping them for my lighting arsenal, and I can absolutely give them the recommendation for any other DJ. Now, thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not, I would love to have you become a subscriber. Hit the notification bell. It helps the channel grow, and I will see you next time.